The respiratory system, also called as the ventilatory system, is a series of organs that is involved in breathing in oxygen, inhaling, and breathing out carbon dioxide, exhaling. This biological system is made up of specific organs and tissues that facilitate the process of respiration by connecting the organism with the environment. Do you know that an adult takes 12 to 15 breaths per minute? A baby breathes about 40 times per minute. The average breaths per minute is referred to as the respiratory rate and is dependent on age. Strenuous activities increase the average breathing rate to 45 breaths per minute. The primary function of the respiratory system is to supply oxygenated blood to all the organs of the body and carry back the blood with carbon dioxide. The air that we breathe in enters the nose or mouth, flows through the throat, pharynx, and voice box, larynx, and enters the windpipe, trachea. The trachea divides into two hollow tubes called bronchi. The right main bronchus is the word for one of the bronchi, supplies the right lung. The left main bronchus supplies the left lung. These bronchi then go on to divide into smaller bronchi. The small bronchi divide into smaller and smaller hollow tubes, which are called bronchioles, the smallest air tubes in the lungs. The medical term for all the air tubes from the nose and mouth down to the bronchioles is the respiratory tract. The lower respiratory tract is from the larynx. At the end of the smallest bronchioles are tiny air sacs, called alveoli. Alveoli are lined by a very thin layer of cells. They also have an excellent blood supply. The tiny alveoli are the place where oxygen enters the blood and where carbon dioxide leaves the blood. The exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the capillaries of lungs takes place by the process of diffusion. Gas is exchanged in the lungs where oxygen is diffused into the blood and the carbon dioxide diffuses out of the blood. Gases move from the area of higher pressure to an area of lower pressure. Venous blood carries oxygen at 40 mm into the capillaries in lung, whereas the pressure of carbon dioxide is 46 mm. Hence oxygen is able to flow from the blood to the tissue blood and carbon dioxide from the fluid in the tissues into the blood. The breathing mechanism of lungs is controlled by the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. The diaphragm is a membrane which separates the thoracic chamber from the abdominal cavity. When the diaphragm moves down, the lungs expand and the air is inhaled. When the diaphragm moves up, the lungs contract and air is exhaled. Cellular respiration produces chemical energy and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide from cellular respiration is also breathed out of the body from the lungs. Now let's have a look at transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Red blood cells, RBC, in blood contain a respiratory pigment rich in iron called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, which has an affinity for respiratory gases, mixes with oxygen to become oxyhemoglobin. Oxygen reaches into each cell and oxidizes food and produces energy. This energy is stored as ATP. Carbon dioxide is transported in two ways. First, through plasma. Carbon dioxide combines with water to form carbonic acid. Bicarbonates that form from the carbonic acid are transported by the RBC as well as plasma. Second, through RBCs, carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin in the RBC and carried to the lungs.